Welcome everyone to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Ready to get straight to the good stuff?
Yeah.
Because today we are plunging headfirst into, well, a really exciting career path, cloud engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And the kicker, we're talking about how you can get started even with absolutely zero experience, like none.
Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy, but it's possible. Our whole discussion today, it's built around this really insightful podcast source. It's called From Zero to Cloud Hero, The Ultimate Career Blueprint.
Zero to Cloud Hero, I like that.
It's a great title, and it really does offer a technical but still super accessible look at breaking into the field, a real goldmine.
Okay, so our mission today is basically to pull out the absolute best bits from that blueprint.
The core nuggets.
Exactly. We want to give you a shortcut, really, to understanding the specific skills, the certs that actually count, and the kind of projects that can land you a high-paying cloud job, especially looking at 2024.
Right.
And get this. What if I told you one of the fastest-growing tech roles doesn't need a college degree, or that companies are literally paying people to get certified,
That's a big one.
and that one single project, maybe even using free resources,
Yeah.
could open doors for interviews at places like AWS?
It's not just talk. This deep dive, we're aiming to show you how to go from no experience, no background, to potentially earning, what, 150K plus as a cloud engineer?
That's the potential, yeah. It's about being strategic.
Strategic learning, targeted action. That's the key.
Okay, that is a seriously compelling idea. So let's unpack it. Cloud engineer, it's a term we hear all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but for someone maybe new to tech, what does a cloud engineer actually do? Like day to day? What makes the role so crucial right now?
Yeah, good question. So at its heart, a cloud engineer builds and manages the digital backbone, the infrastructure that runs modern businesses online.
Like an architect and builder, but for the internet.
That's a great analogy, yeah. So designing secure cloud setups on AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, the big platforms.
Okay.
But it's not just design. A huge part is automation, using tools like Terraform.
Right. Infrastructure as code.
Exactly. Define your whole setup and code makes everything repeatable, reliable, and Ansible for automating the configuration, setting up the software on those systems.
Got it.
And then there's the bit people sometimes forget, cost optimization. It's massive.
Saving money. Always important.
Always. Things like right-sizing instances, basically making sure companies aren't paying for more server power than they actually need. It directly impacts their profit.
And speaking of the bottom line, the salaries mentioned in the source.
Yeah.
They're pretty eye-watering.
Yeah.
What's the 2024 reality? Are these jobs really paying that well?
Oh, absolutely. The demand is pushing salaries up. For entry-level roles, you're looking at maybe $90,000 to $120,000.
Wow, for entry level.
Yeah. And then for senior folks, people with experience, it jumps to $160K, even $220K, plus often stock options on top of that.
Which can add up significantly.
Hugely.
Okay, so the money's definitely there. But why now? Why is cloud engineering suddenly, or maybe it's not so sudden, the hottest tech job?
Well, it ties into that broader trend, doesn't it? The source puts it really well. Every company is either moving to the cloud or was basically born there.
Right. There's no escaping it.
Exactly. It's not just a trend, it's just how business is done now. So these engineers aren't niche anymore. They're fundamental, absolutely essential for pretty much any company operating today or planning for tomorrow.
That explains the explosion in demand. Okay, so if this sounds good to you listening, what's the actual plan? How does someone starting from zero actually learn this stuff and break in? What's the path?
Okay, the roadmap. It really starts with getting some foundational certifications. The blueprint suggests you can realistically knock these out in like 2 to 3 months if you're focused.
2 to 3 months? That's pretty quick.
It is, yeah. The first one to aim for is the AWS Cloud Practitioner. And here's a nice little perk. AWS offers a free retake if you don't pass first time.
Well, it takes some pressure off.
Definitely. They want people certified. Then you should also look at the Microsoft AZ900. You can often get vouchers for that one for free through Microsoft events like their virtual training days.
So AWS and Azure Basics.
Yep. Covers the core concepts, the language on the two biggest players. It's your foundation.
But certs aren't the whole story, are they? I remember the source hammering home the importance of hands-on experience, free tier projects.
Oh, absolutely critical. That's where you prove you could actually do stuff, not just know stuff. The
Yeah.
hands-on part is non-negotiable.
So what kind of projects make an impact? What should a beginner build?
Well, the blueprint gives some great examples, like deploying a serverless resume.
Serverless resume, what does that mean?
So using services like AWS Lambda that's running code without managing servers in S3 for storage to host your actual resume online, it shows you get modern web architecture.
Okay, practical.
Another good one was building, say, a COVID tracker using Google Cloud Platform, GCP, and BigQuery, which is their tool for analyzing huge data sets.
Again, real-world tools.
Exactly. These aren't just academic exercises. They're proof you can build and implement things in the cloud. Tangible proof.
And the source mentioned a specific job-winning differentiator, something that really makes you stand out. What was that?
Ah, yes. This was a brilliant point. It's about demonstrating value beyond just building. The differentiator. Taking a fake company scenario, figuring out how to cut their cloud costs by, say, 30%, and then documenting that whole process clearly on GitHub.
30%. Why is that so powerful?
Because it screams business sense. Lots of junior people can show they built something, but showing you can save a company serious money, like 30%, that elevates you instantly. Hiring managers obsess over cloud bills. Showing you get that makes you incredibly attractive.
That makes total sense.
Wow.
Okay, and there was also a pretty direct pro tip about certification to maybe avoid.
Yeah, very blunt advice. Skip the CompTIA Cloud plus Westerruth.
Really? Why is that?
Simple reason. Recruiters just don't recognize it or value it much. Your time is way better spent on those AWS or Azure certs, or even better building those projects we just talked about. Real-world skills trump generic certs.
Good to know. Focus is key. So, okay, let's say you've got the certs, you've built some cool projects, maybe even documented saving that fake company 30%. How do you actually get noticed? How do you land the job? Any hiring manager secrets in the blueprint?
Definitely. One tactic they called the resume hack. It's about listing dollar impacts. Don't just say optimized EC2 usage.
Quantify it.
Exactly. Say saved $15,000 per month by implementing auto-scaling for EC2 instances. Numbers grab attention. It shows tangible value right away.
That definitely makes a resume pop. What about LinkedIn? Any strategies there? Something about a LinkedIn magnet.
Yes, the LinkedIn magnet. This was clever. The idea is to post relatable stories, maybe even slightly funny ones, about cloud cost problems. They call them cloud cost horror stories. Sharing those insights, showing you understand those real-world pains. It apparently attracts DMs, direct messages, from recruiters who are hunting for people to solve exactly those kinds of expensive problems.
Interesting. So sharing insights extracts opportunities.
Builds your brand and flags you as someone who gets it.
And then the interview itself. There's often a tricky question, an interview trap.
Yeah, the classic, tell me about a time you failed.
Everyone dreads that one.
Right. But managers ask it for a reason. They want to see how you handle setbacks, how you learn, how you recover. So the key is to be ready. Have a good, concise, honest, technical recovery story prepared. Show your problem-solving process.
Makes sense. It's about resilience.
Exactly.
It really feels like this field values practical skills and initiative over traditional backgrounds. The source even had that case study, right? Someone with no IT background getting into AWS.
Yeah, a really inspiring story. It was about a former teacher, zero conventional IT experience. They landed a job at AWS. How? They strategically got 3 specific certs, 2 from AWS, 1 for Terraform, and crucially, they made one LinkedIn post that went viral. It was about fixing a problem with their own home lab setup.
A home lab fix went viral.
Apparently, it showed their dedication, their hands-on approach, their problem-solving, and their ability to communicate it. That combination was powerful. Proves the path is open if you put in the work and show it.
Incredible. Okay, so bringing this all together for everyone listening, if you're inspired, if you're thinking maybe this is for me, what's the action plan? What should you do today?
Right. The takeaway actions from the blueprint. First, go sign up for the AWS free tier today. Just start exploring. It costs nothing to play around.
Okay, step 1, AWS free tier.
Step 2, look up and join the Cloud Resume Challenge. It's a well-known guided project, perfect for beginners. Just search for it online.
Cloud Resume Challenge.
Got it. And step 3, start engaging with the community. Find places like @CloudUnlocked was mentioned on social media. Share what you're learning. Share your first project, even if it feels small. Put yourself out there.
Get involved. Get visible.
It makes a huge difference.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The skills, the certs, the projects, the strategies. But let's end with this thought. Given that this field, cloud engineering, is growing so fast, pays so well, and seems genuinely accessible without needing a traditional degree or prior IT experience, what does that really tell us about how we define expertise and success now? And maybe, more personally for you listening, how might this make you rethink your own career possibilities, knowing these old gates aren't quite as locked as they used to be?